I just want to start with saying, if you're watching this video because I put "this leader sucks" on the actual thumbnail, thank you for clicking it. That was the whole goal of putting it. Don't think I actually think that. I've had a lot of comments though when I make shorts on Gol D Roger talk about how they actually think this leader is not that good. So I put it in the thumbnail just to say, hey, I want to know your thoughts on what people are saying about this. Today's video is actually all about just giving you information on the leader, giving you the curve of the leader, and kind of rage baiting you into commenting down below. So please comment down below and then help me push the algorithm so other people comment down below so that everybody can see the YouTube channel, and you help me out a lot. So it's a free way to help me out, might as well. We're actually just going to be breaking down the leader, going through it in deep detail, and then you have to let me know your opinion down below on, is this leader actually good or not? You can see how fast it can ramp, how slow it can ramp. We're going to talk about those kind of things, the actual setup of the leader, how we end at the 10 Dawn turn, which puts us back 3 Dawn, and then how we go forward from that. And then we're going to talk about one of our buddies' videos that was recently made. That's linked down below from MarineFordTCG, talking about how they actually did proxies in English of the actual card game that you should check out. So check out that link down below. As always, we're going to have that deck profile that you could be looking for Gol D Roger. So much going on for you guys. I hope you're excited. Let's talk about the king of the pirates, Gol D Roger. Of course, everyone is talking about this leader. They're talking about how broken it is because it is, at the end of the day, a 2-color, 7k, 5-life leader. But there's a lot of ins and outs to it, and I'm excited to talk about it. There's a lot that goes into talking about a leader like this, though. And of course, the beginning should be the leader effect. Of course, that's very important when talking about leaders. So if you don't know, this is what Gol D Roger does. It doesn't really do anything except hurt you, but it has obviously amazing stat lines. If you have any Dawn cards on the field, give 1 Dawn card that would be added from your Dawn phase to your leader. And it also says if you have 9 or less Dawn cards on the field, give this leader minus 2,000 power. So the first effect simply states that when we gain Dawn, we must attach one of those Dawn to our leader. But we must not already have Dawn on the Dawn field. So it's very confusing in this sense, to be honest with you, because it sounds really weird. So when I add Dawn from my Dawn deck, but only when I didn't already have Dawn from the Dawn deck, I add the Dawn to the leader to then be a 5k leader, but my leader says 7k, it's very confusing. If I go from 0 to 1 Dawn, I don't attach it to the leader. But when I go from 1 to 3 Dawn, one of those 3 Dawn automatically attaches to the leader. So I only have 2 active Dawn to spend on characters. It goes the same way as if I went from 0 to 2 Dawn. Neither of those Dawn become attached to my leader. But when I go from 2 to 4 Dawn, and 4 to 6 Dawn, and 6 to 8 Dawn, every single time one of those Dawn gets attached to the leader. Now, again, maybe confusing for some people, but I think that's a pretty solid explanation, and we'll talk more about it later. This actually takes you off of curve, and they made the leader, the support that we're going to talk about in a minute, all about this. It literally fits perfect for going minus 1 Dawn compared to as if you were gaining 2 Dawn every turn, because you're ramping 1 turn behind. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting leader. The concept of it all just being very, very strong, and obviously he is the king of the pirates. But you would think if you're going to go thematically that the king of the pirates should be this strong, don't you think some leader like Garp, like the red-black Garp, should have had a little bit more power to it? Because Garp took on this man in his prime and was head-to-head with him. Or I'm just saying, Purple Kaido's still out there. Haven't really got much for him. We're a little lacking in a few other departments, but that's a different part of One Piece. Today we're just talking about Gol D Roger. To start, let's just talk about the support. We're going to speed through the support because at this point, it's going to explain itself when we get deeper into it. That's going to be the most important thing, is understanding the support. So, of course, you have a top 5 searcher for the Roger Pirates type, being Shanks. One cost 2k character with a 1k counter. It just looks for red Roger Pirates types, which is literally 99% of your deck, other than maybe a few other cards, which we'll talk about when we get to the deck profile. This, we can just glance over. It's a top 5 searcher. It helps with consistency, and it's needed in the deck. Now we're playing the Oro Jackson Go, which is this card. I don't know how I feel about it. You have to comment down below. Is this not busted? Once returned, when one of your characters, the Roger Pirates in its type, would be removed from the board by one of your opponent's effect, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested. So if I were to bottom deck your character with a Gravity Blade, or 2 of your characters, you would gain 1 Dawn back. You would start ramping up very aggressively, and of course this is only removed from effect, so it only helps to do certain matchups, and I don't have to remove your characters. I can attack into them, but when you look at the size of some of these characters we will see very soon, it does not feel good removing these characters. Having some kind of removal option or removal spell for these characters would be very good, and we just don't have that. So allowing them to ramp 1 turn extra really, really hurts. Now we're going to talk about our ramp pieces, which is literally every single character in this. This is a 2k counter 2 cost buggy that is basically on play if your leader has the Roger Pirates type. included in its types, and there is any given Dawn card, add up to 1 Dawn card as rested. So what it means by given Dawn cards are Dawn that are attached to the leader. So when we go from 1 Dawn into 3 Dawn, we automatically have to attach one of those Dawn to our leader through our leader effect. Now we have 2 additional Dawn to play a character or attach to a different character or to our leader, etc, etc. Well, Buggy is a 2 Dawn character that helps us ramp a Dawn as rested. So now we'll be at 4 Dawn in our next turn, getting closer to that 10 Dawn mark. It just has to have a given Dawn to attach to a character or a leader, as it does not simply state it has to be attached to the leader. It could be attached to a character if there is a different Roger's Pirate leader down the road, or maybe if we're using it in Rayleigh, which, well, this is purple, so we're not using it in Rayleigh like red Rayleigh, but there are other leaders potentially in the future that we could use this in. Now here in Arashi, it is very similar, but this is for the going second turn when we go from 2 Dawn to 4 Dawn, because one of those 4 Dawn is attached to our leader. So we need a 3 Dawn option like Ina Arashi here. If you have any given Dawn cards, which means attached to the leader, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested, then KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less. So it's at a very similar power to Buggy here, 2 cost 2k, 3 cost 3k, but it will KO a 1 cost character. Now, 1 cost is not super amazing, it's just alright. It's cool though, it's a good card, and this is a little less, you can use this in any leader. You could use this in Blue Purple Luffy, just attach it onto your leader and then play this out. Going second, you could ramp a Dawn very quickly, and you could go into 7 on your second turn, or on your third turn. Now, it's not the best card out there, it's not probably better than Zoro Zero, which ramps the Dawn as active and attacks in at your opponent, but it's an option nonetheless. Plus, you'd have to only use this going second. Well, it really only works in Roger going second as well. And usually purple decks like to go first. Roger, I think, can probably go either way, but you'll have to let me know on your thoughts on that. Here is our going first option. So we went from 1 Dawn into 3 Dawn, or 3 Dawn to 4 Dawn, 4 Dawn into 6 Dawn. One of those 6 Dawns is attached to our leader, so now we're playing down Kozuki Oden. Kozuki Oden is a blocker, and then on play, if you have any given Dawn cards, which is just attached Dawn cards, I'm going to reiterate that over and over again so you don't forget, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested. And so basically we just get to ramp it on and put a 5/6 blocker on the board. We get to develop bodies. This card's really good. 6k blocker is higher than our 5k stat line because we are minus 2000 power, so just having that extra power buff is very nice because we can block out this and give a 1k if they do want to swing 6. We can block out and give a 2k if they want to swing 7, and so forth and so on. So Kozuki Oden, very strong card and great support for Roger Pirates. Now we get into Scopper Gaban. This card is pretty cool. It's a 6-drop 7k with 1k counter, Roger Pirates type, and then it says if your leader has a Roger Pirates included in his type, draw 2 and discard 1. Then add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as rested. Now, specifically, Scopper Gaban does not say that you have to have any attached Dawn, so do keep that in mind as you can play this in the late game just for a simple draw 2 trash one and possibly ramping a Dawn up in case you are behind in Dawn. It's a good option to put down later. It is a 6 cost 7k and it's not the best stat line out there, but it's generic and it works for what you need in the Roger Pirates type. Granted, this is the only Roger Pirates type in purple right now, as we talked about earlier, but it's still a great option. Not the option we want to go with in the late game, but it's one that's out there if we need it. Then we get into our, well, I should say this would be played on our turn where we're going into 7 Dawn as we just ramped from the Ina Arashi. So we went from 4 Dawn into 5 Dawn. Now we use Scopper Gaban after to go from 6 to 7, and now we're going into 9 Dawn on this next turn. That's very important to keep in mind that this is a card for going second and your curve going perfectly into 10. So just keep that in mind that if you're going second, this is literally the setup. You want to go Shanks and the stage, then you want to go Ina Arashi, then you want to go Scopper Gaban, and then you want to go Rayleigh. Rayleigh can be used going first or second. It is very similar to a lot of the other abilities. It has Rush, so it's an 8 cost 9,000 power character with Rush that says on play, if you have any given Dawn cards, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, and then at the end of your turn, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. The reason it adds it at the end of the turn is to nerf the ability slightly, because if it were to ramp this last Dawn right away, our leader would become a 7k attacker on this turn, so we would have an 8 cost 9k attacker and a 5 life 7k attacker, and that would be brutal. It would be really, really strong. So they did nerf this slightly by giving it that last effect that it ramps the Dawn at the end of the turn, but nonetheless, it's still a really freaking strong card. And actually, it would be 8k, I forgot, because you also attach the Dawn to your leader. So you would become a 7k, then you have the attached Dawn, so you're going 8k, 9k into whatever this 5 cost that we rested was. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't think this is generic and strong as people are saying. People are comparing this to Hody Jones, and the Hodith does not get compared to. That card is so much better than this. I don't know what people are thinking, but we'll let them live. Now we get into the finalized top end of the Gol D Roger deck. Gol D Roger himself, a 10 cost, 13,000 power character with the slash attribute type, meaning that there are some cards that actually cannot be KO'd by this because it is slash attribute. Fun fact. Now it has the effect that says negate the effect of your leader and negate the effect of characters without Roger pirates included in their type. Now this is very important as we talk into maybe the deck list later on, but for now we'll ignore that, other than the fact that it negates your leader effect so that your leader becomes the 7k leader. You now no longer have to attach Dawn at the end of the turn or do any of those things, and we'll look into that after this. Obviously, you'll see where we're going with this in a minute. Now it says on play Dawn -3, up to one of your leaders gain plus 2,000 power until your opponent's next end phase. Then give all of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until your opponent's next end phase. So basically you become a 5 life 7k leader plus 2,000 power, so you become a 5 life 9k leader. Of course, you've probably taken a few life at this point, but just knowing that you're a 9k leader is insane. And then nerfing all of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power until the end of their next turn is insane as well. Now just note that this does all of the characters on the board right now. If you were to play a character with Rush after this card was already played, and now it goes to my turn, and I play down a 10 cost 12k Shanks, that Shanks does not have nuked 2,000 power less. It is not minus 2,000 power. It will be a 10 drop 12k, and that's basically what you need to know about this. It affects all of the leaders that are active, or all the characters on the board at the moment that it was played, not all the ones that come after it was played on the next turn or anything like that, because some newer players may get that wrong. That's just important to know. Just keep that in mind. Now we're going to start talking about the actual ramp of Roger. Now we have turn 1 options, of course, being the Stage, the Aura Jackson, or being Shanks, and that's pretty simple. 5 drop Searcher's always going to be good to get us deeper in the deck, or top 5 Searcher, or the 1 cost Stage, just because it's going to help in removal based matchups. It really depends on what you're playing against. Now we're going into the second turn. We're playing down our Buggy on our 3 Dawn turn that ramps us into 4 Dawn, so that next turn we'll be able to go into 6 Dawn as we gain 2 Dawn every turn. Just remember, we're playing 1 cost lower because the 1 Dawn is attached to the leader. That's very easy to forget about, so keep that in mind as we continue on talking about these effects. Now we go into the Kozuki Odin turn, where we're on 6 Dawn, 1 attached to the leader, and we use the Odin to ramp into 7 Dawn. Now we go from the Odin into our 9 Dawn turn as we went from 6 to 7, now 7 into 9 as we start the beginning of our turn. And don't forget, through this whole 3 turns we were a 5k leader. Now we're getting to the end of our last turn, our turn 4, where we have a 8-9 rush option that rests a character, and we ramp at the end of our turn into 10 Dawn, meaning we are now a full power 7k leader and have a lot of strength. Literally just being a 7k leader alone is enough to put fear into my heart. This is a little much. It is a little much. I'm not gonna lie. That is crazy. I've had a lot of people talk about, oh, we need to see the support. Well, the support's right here, and this is a little scary, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Some power creep, maybe, just possibly, maybe a little power creep in this. So we'll have to see how it really plays in person, which you'll be able to check out MarineFord's video, link down below, to really see how it does play. Now we talk about the going second curve, and of course you can do the Aura Jackson or the Shanks now, or both, and go the whole 9 yards. It's the same number of turns though to get into 10 Dawn. Actually insane. So of course we go with the Shanks or the Aura Jackson, then we go into Inner Arashi, which will put us from 4 Dawn into 5, as one of those Dawn is attached to the leader. Again, I'm reiterating this over and over again because people, when they talk about this leader, keep forgetting that you have to attach one of those Dawns. So they're like, oh, I go into 4 Dawn, well then I just play a 4 cost ramp piece and yada yada whatever. No, you can't do that. You have to play 1 Dawn under because one of those Dawn is automatically attached. You'll understand more when you're hands-on with the leader, but for now this is what we have to work with. Now when we go into turn 3, we talk about Scopper Gabon. This is a 6 drop 7k draw 2 trash 1 that ramps you a Dawn. We go into 8 Dawn, and then on our following turn we go directly into 10. Now when we go from 8 to 10 Dawn, one of those Dawn is still attached, so we would have to play something that is 9 cost or lower. So when we begin that turn, our options are kind of limited to Rayleigh, or the 9-drop Newgate as an option, but just remember the 9-drop Newgate loses all of its effects once we put 10-drop Gol D Roger on the board. The one that we just talked about, the purple Gol D Roger, this guy, the big guy. Once you put this on the board, it negates the Newgate's effect to KO 2000 power lower characters when attacking *2 Dawn, and it just gets rid of that completely. So you cannot play 9-drop Newgate after you play Gol D Roger, because it's not former Roger Pirates. It's not Roger Pirates. It never dealt with Roger Pirates, and it does not have that category. So just remember that 10-drop turns off those effects and a few others that you may play later in the game. Now, is this broken? That is the real question we have to ask, because a lot of people say this card sucks and a lot of people say this is broken. And for me personally, I think this is pretty busted. When we look into it, I tried to make a little photo of how this deck would go at the end, but then I forgot that it negates your effect completely. So you see on the right where we have this 1 Dawn attached and we are like, oh, we have to play Rayleigh. That's not true. Just kind of ignore that, because we don't have to attach the Dawn, because it completely negates our effect. So my thought process here is I was putting us on 10 Dawn. Well, when we're on 10 Dawn, we go Dawn -3 with the 10 cost character. In the middle there, you see we're on 7 Dawn, and from 7 we go into 9. So with 9 Dawn, I was like, oh, well, now one of those Dawn has to be attached to our leader through our leader effect, and then we can only play 8 cost characters. Well, we don't really run 9 cost characters at the moment, other than the Newgate, if we play the 9-drop Newgate, which we're about to look into a deck profile for MarineFordTCG. But for now, the 8 cost is basically all we have. So I guess you just attach it to leader at that point, because there's not much else to do, or maybe you play a 1-cost former Roger Pirates that minuses power or something, I don't know. But ignore that, we never have to attach that Dawn. Literally, we just go back into 9 Dawn, we drop an 8-drop Rayleigh, and we swing 8 with Roger, and then 13 with this Roger, and then the 7 with the Scopper Gabon, and then whatever else we have on the board at this point. It's actually insane. I think this leader is a little busted for sure, and that's about all I have to say about it. This is actually insane. Now, here is a deck profile. Yes, it's a little grainy because I actually just took a screenshot from his video. And again, remember, the link is down below. You need to go check out the video down below right now to get the full breakthrough. It is a very interesting list. Now, these of course are all proxies. He does not have all of the new cards out. There's a lot of options in this deck. Now, just remember, not every time you're going to ramp perfectly into what you're looking for, and not every time it's going to be that perfect, hey, we go straight into 10 Dawn in 4 turns. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit longer, and so we're playing a few other cards. We're playing 2 of the Odin and 2 of the Silver's Rayleigh in this deck. We are running 4 of the Scopper Gabon, 4 of the Inarashi, 4 of the Shanks, 4 of the Buggy, and then we're running a few others. We are running 4 of the old Rayleighs, the new Rayleighs, 4 of the new Rogers and the old Rogers, 2 of the 9-drop Newgates, 4 of the Mr. 2 Bon Clays. Just remember, cards like Mr. 2 Bon Clay do lose their ability once we put the 10-drop Gol D Roger on the board. That is very important to note, because even Uta, which is a blocker, is a film blocker. It is not former Roger Pirates. So actually Uta, even if you played it out for the 2 Dawn, it would not have the blocker ability, as it would lose all of its abilities on the board. We're running 2 of the new 10-drop Gol D Rogers. Pardon me for saying 4 earlier, of the old ones. Pardon me for saying 4. We are running 2 of the, I think that's Conqueror's Hockey in the bottom right, an OP12 event that says, it's a 0-cost event that says you may rest, or it's a 2k counter event, and then you may rest one of your Dawn, give all of your opponent's characters and leaders minus 1000 power for the turn. It's actually really good. I think you have to have a Rayleigh on the board or something like that. If you don't, though, then this card's just insane. It's just a 2k counter and then gives minus 1000 to the whole board for 1 Dawn. If that's how it works, I didn't check into it before this. I may have to, but that would actually be insane, especially working in the Gol D Roger deck, you already being a 7k. Nuking a whole board means you should have to do one big swing rather than a bunch of little swings. We're also running the OP12 Buggy in the bottom left as a 2 of, and hey, I'm just saying, this deck looks pretty good. We're running 4 of the double fingers, 4 of the Buggy 2Ks, and then 2 of the Utas, and then 2 of the Buggy in the bottom left. I believe those are 2Ks, but I'm not too sure. At the end of the day, I know we have at least 10 2Ks total, plus the 2 counter events. Now, in a list that is 7K as your leader, you may not need this many 2Ks. I will say that as my one thought on the deck, but of course, everyone's going to build the deck differently. I'd probably drop the 2 Utas and just run 4 of the Odin, especially if I am going first. I would rather have the chance at the Odin to ramp me a Dawn rather than not having it, but that's just me. me personally, of course, you are running for the Bon Clay, so if you do go into that 5 Dawn turn, you can easily ramp with the Bon Clay and go forward from there. Me personally, I don't need that many 2Ks. I'm okay running 8 2Ks. That's something I'm comfortable with, and especially knowing that I'm a 7K leader and I have 2 counter events and I have the 10 drop and a 10 drop and so much more going on. So at the end of the day, this is a really cool list that I would say definitely check out. You can see the video link down below in the description. You need to check it out, and I hope he comments and leaves the links in the comment as well, because it was a really cool video. 3,500 views in 22 hours, and it's real testing. You actually get to see him play green purple Luffy for a couple matches and actually learn how the deck actually plays and how consistent it really is. It's really neat, really fun, and I 100% recommend it. Now, this has been it for my breakdown of Gol D Roger, but I need you to let me know your thoughts down below, your questions, opinions, whatever you have. Let me know your thoughts on Gol D Roger, because for me, this leader is insane, but I've heard so many people calling it mid, I've called it busted, I've heard so many different things. Me personally, this and red-green Luffy may be my next 2 decks in OP13. Right now, it's about to be Zoro and OP12. Zoro video going up in 2 days, because we're posting every other day. We're also going live. We'll be in Richmond, Virginia for Collecticon this weekend, Section 84, if you can make it out. I would love to see you guys out there in Richmond, Virginia at Collecticon. I'll have all my One Piece singles and so much more. I would love to see you there. I'd love to see it in one of the live streams, so join the Discord to find out when we're going live or to get all the notifications, turn the notifications on, see all that stuff, yada yada, whatever. I'm starting to stream more often. I'm actually probably about to start a stream in about 15 minutes where we'll be going live talking about OP12, playing some Zoro, or maybe something, maybe some blue purple Sanji. I don't really know. We're gonna make it up as we fly. We may do some test my decks. We may do nothing at all. We might just sit there and chat. I don't know. But that's the fun of live streams. We get to just hang out and have fun and talk One Piece. So I'll see you there. I'll see you in the future. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.